that are like younger than you, look up to you.
Yeah.
I do believe, and you do know,
If they
like,
instill some kind of knowledge
That's
from
right.
them from young.
definitely.
Yeah, man.
And even though there's something that you said there that really stood out to me is like if you were doing your taxes and there's an accountant, ask your accountant
Man, that
how
was
much
fun.
how much extra would it be if my son or daughter would sit right next to you and learn just the steps on how to become
The
an
worst
accountant.
they'll say is no.
You know,
They're not gonna
yeah.
jack your prices up or not do your taxes ever again.
Even with that being said, so that's a skill, and that skill will last them a lifetime.
Exactly.
You know, and also that skill will also save them money.
That's right.
So now my question to you is, as an educator, how long? So in terms of to acquire a new skill or to learn something new, what would you say is the what's the average time it would take for someone to learn or acquire a new skill?
It depends on the person. What I can say is, if I put a structure in place, I can say we've worked with, so our company's worked with well over 800 plus students.
Wow.
So whenever I do something, the first time I work with someone till now is completely night and day. So I can say the average time it takes someone to learn this course in math takes 3 weeks. If they do an hour every day, it should take you 3 weeks. Your level of math is much lower, so I think it might take you a month to a month and a half. So it's a month and a half. But we're not going to wait until the end of the month to figure out when you're going to finish. We're going to go week by week.
Yes, definitely.
We track you week by week. So what we do is, when we sit down with someone, we make this academic plan. It's a 3-month plan. And in that 3-month plan, I'm saying this is where you should be at by the end of your 3 months. So usually semesters are 4 to 3 months. And then each week when they're working with their educator, because I hired educators, at the end of each week, we see where they are. And then if they're falling behind, we're just like, okay, what can we do right now to catch this? What some people do is they do a month of something, and at the end of the month they like, okay, well, this has not happened. Like what's happening? If you're doing something, if you're learning how to play guitar, like when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I started doing jiu-jitsu like a year and a half ago. Every week I started thinking about the things I didn't know the week before. And that's how you got to track it. You got to go week by week, man.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing. I think once you figure out that skill and where, there's one thing about acquiring a new skill is figure out what that skill is going to do for you in the future.
Right.
I think if you think about the future plan of what you're doing now, that will also help propel, especially myself.
Yeah.
Right. I love basketball. We all know this. Like every single day, I wouldn't say I'm the best basketball player, but my goal is to be the best basketball player I can be.
There you go.
So what I do is, whenever I get on the basketball court, I always try different moves that I've never tried before. Even if I'm not successful at it, at least I gave my well shot at it.
That's right.
Not really caring about any consequences that might be. Or
the criticism.
Or the criticism.
No, you're right, man.
So that's the thing. Like, especially being an educator or anything like that. Most of these kids, they think because they're not at a certain level, they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. At the end of the day, it takes every single individual a different time frame to get to where they need to be. Right?
Yep.
So
100%. Like even for me, man, like I'm terrible at math. So I know, like if I was to take a course with you, I would definitely need probably more time than the average individual. But what's really cool is that I know that. You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But you know, a lot of stuff that I shined with when I was still in school back in the days was everything like a lot of literary arts. I was incredible at like, you know, writing, punctuality, stories. I was good at, you know, writing in general, man, whether it was, you know, fictional or non-fictional. I enjoyed that side a lot. So I remember when I had like algebra, man, I struggled with hard, like really hard, man. Like, and I was pretty much a straight A student outside of math. Very low B's in math. Everything else I aced, man. So
That's right.
I get that, man. I think you do got to put in the work. You gotta just hit it, man. And for me, I think if I was to like say give my one tip, like for me, what helps me learn things fast is, I don't know what it is, man, but like I learned to give something 2 weeks all in. Like I'm talking like I will eat, sleep, and drink something for a minimum of 2 weeks.
Okay, that's excellent.
If I hit it for 2 weeks, and let's just say something that, like let's say like it was recording.
yeah.
I want to do everything I can. I'm talking every possible thing to learn that super hard for 2 weeks. And if I don't have an interest in it, I'll just move on.
There you go.
You know what I mean? But that was what I told myself. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not. I've never been like a 1 year planner. I actually read it in a book, man. It's called The 4 Hour Work Week.
Amazing book.
And that's what. No, was it the 4 Hour Week? One of the 4 hours, man. But that's what he said. He goes, instead of trying to live, you know, year by year, month by month, He was like, I just kept it shorter. I tried a bunch of new things for 2 weeks straight. And then you start to see what your passions are, what you're really good at learning. I think you start to learn a lot by yourself.
That's right.
And since I read that book, man, I've done all kinds of crazy. If you just ask my girlfriend some of the stuff that I would get into, from like audio, video, writing, it doesn't matter, man. She has seen me go through so many 2-week phases.
Yeah.
But man, I can honestly say now at 33, I've learned how to do so much more, and I'm so thankful for it. So that would be like my 2 cents. Like if there was one thing that I could tell somebody, I'd be like, man, this is what I did to learn things super fast. Is I just literally dove in, like no sleep, no nothing. Like but that's my personality, right? So I would be like that A type person. Like you said, there's 4 personalities.
There's 4 kinds of personalities that I've noticed. Like you're analytical. You're very like, I need to read, understand. Like I think about it as business. If you go into business, analytical people, you can tell them anything you want face to face. They're just like, okay, can you send me more information to read? Okay. A driver is someone more like, you're telling them this and they're gonna make a deal on the spot with you. They're not gonna take back anything and wait. And then there's some people who are like, if you're trying to sell them something, they're very like amiable, for instance, or where they like, you're telling them it and they want you to tell them what they need, so then they'll buy it from you, right? So what's the other one? Amiable, expressive people are like storytellers.
That would be me.
Yeah, storyteller kind of people. So if I'm gonna work with someone like you, I'm not gonna go deep down into like literature. You like the storytelling type of thing. Like you like to be expressive. I think you might be an artist, like to paint, or maybe that's like you said, you're more of the arts kind of person. So math wouldn't be your suit, but for you to get you through math, I'd be like, you take this math course, okay? These are the kinds of doors that it opens up for you, right? And you take this math course, it just leads you to your starting level of maybe a $50,000 job when you graduate. You work a $50,000 job, you may like it, you may not like it, but it's gonna be able to fund what you like to do, which is arts, because you still need to make a living.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, man.
That's huge, man. I think kind of to segue into like a new topic, because what's really cool is that, this is your own business. Yeah. So how did you run your own business, man? How long you been doing it? You said 9 years, right?
Yeah, 9 years.
So 9 years ago, man, what was the motivation? Like, where were you working? When did you know you're like, man, I'm ready to start this more than 9 to 5 life, man? What was it like?
9 years ago, where was that? 9 years ago, I was probably first or second year university. And I've always been tutoring throughout high school. Like I'd help my friends and stuff. Never charge anyone. I never really charged anyone until I got to university. So I played at UIT school in Oshawa or Durham region, and some of the players, for us to play, you had to have athletic eligibility, which means that you need to have a certain GPA. If you're below that and that person played, your whole team gets disqualified for that game.
Yep. So
certain guys are on the cusp of like not hitting the eligibility, so we would take coach buses to our games. We go to Windsor, Ottawa, Sudbury, and on the bus, like I would see that they're struggling, they're a good player, I'm like, we need you. So I would look at their work, and I took kinesiology, so it's literally all the sciences and math. So I could do pretty much anything, and I would help them out so they would pass. And then like one time I helped a guy on the bus, I helped him with his online assignment. We were tethering our phone to do it. He submitted it, and like he got the highest grade ever. I didn't do the work for him. I'm just like, I was helping him through the problems. Yeah. And he's just like, wow, this is the highest I've ever gotten. And then like,
that's amazing.
He was really happy about that. And then the work kind of spread around the bus. So it was like literally every time we would drive somewhere, it's like a 4-hour drive, I'd be helping everybody. And then one time, one of them wanted help, but it was outside like the bus ride. And he's like, can you help me? I'm like, I literally couldn't help him. He's like, man, I'll pay you. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm doing it for free anyways. He's just like, no, man, I'll pay you.
A light bulb.
I'm just like, well, I'm not available, but we can do it this day. So I charge. He's like, well, how much do you want? I'm like, just give me $5. I'm not gonna charge you anything. Give me $5. I tried doing it for $5, and then more people wanted like on campus, and it was great because I could, in between my classes, I could help people. $10, $15, $20. Got to $30, and people were still wanting to pay me.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm just like, so then I'm sitting back, I'm just like, hold on a second. I was working like a part-time construction job with my cousin. I'm thinking like, I'm making more doing this tutoring part-time. It's just, why am I stressing? So I'm like, you know what? I told my cousin, I'm like, yo, in like a month or so, I can't be doing this with you. I'm gonna keep doing this. So eventually I got so many students to the point where like, I get to hire on more people, and it's kind of how it went from there.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's an amazing story, man. Especially the growth from that. You know, so that's the premise of why we started this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the premise is we're not looking to any monetized value as of right now. It's just that what we can do for the community, what we can do to help a community be better.
Yeah.
You know, so even like you said, you were doing that for free.
Yeah. To keep the team, you know what I'm saying?
To keep my team was like, bro, I wanna make it to as far as we can. If we don't have our best center defender, it's like we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose if our goalie isn't there. And we have our third keeper in net, we're gonna lose.
That's the thing, man. Your destiny will always find you, even when you're not looking. You know, sometimes our destiny is right underneath our nose.
Yeah.
You know, so so like I said before, that's the premise of this of this podcast, the Third Dimension podcast. We want to have people take their mental side of their life to the next level, trying to figure out exactly what it can do for them to be better.
Absolutely.
You know, and especially Luke's Tailored Tutoring, also the premise behind that, helping these kids, adults, whoever have any difficulties with a subject or anything like that, what you're doing for them is very special.
Do you guys do all grades? Like
all grades.
Do you guys do university as well?
University, yeah.
Nice, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. And to be at it for 9 years, that definitely definitely shows that you're doing something good and something right.
Yeah.
You know, and especially have returning clients.
Yeah.
That alone can attest to the greatness.
I appreciate that,
your
man.
business like referral business now?
It's pretty much referral. Like we do advertisements. We don't pay for any of our advertisements. We do Instagram, share on Facebook. We used to do Twitter as well.
Yeah.
And people just they come because it's just like it's something that they're always gonna need.
Always.
Right. So they'll always be there.
That's amazing, man.
Even just to go from that, I remember we met. What was it? I think it was like 2 years ago. I was at the bar, and I was telling about my business ventures. How I want to start working with kids with special needs.
Right.
And then
You're gonna call it Fireplace? It was
Fireplace.
Fireplace. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Name Fireplace. Why?
So I was at Tim Hortons.
Okay.
And I looked to my right, saw a Fireplace. So he messaged me on my phone. He's like, you need to come up with a name. So I was like, Tim Hortons, there's nothing brewing to me. So then I looked to the right of me, I saw a Fireplace. I'm like, oh, what about Fireplace? He's like, all right, let's go with it. But over time, I guess you can say the fire went out.
You know what I mean? That's it's funny. That's like Fireplace.
Yeah,
but now what's the name you ran with?
So as of right now, what I have is the Durrel Foundation.
Yeah.
My last name, Foundation. You know, so it's pretty much helping kids that have special needs. So Menelek here, this guy sent me an entire blueprint on how to start a business. He didn't have to do that. He could have charged. Some people charge thousands for.
That was in the bar. I remember. Yeah, you said the bar. Yeah, I remember that. It was so late at night. I'm just like, what was this? Yeah, I remember it.
I need to see that. So we're business partners. You need to see that too, right?
I had to dive into my email and pull that out. But yeah, he didn't have to do that. He saw that I'm another guy who has business aspirations. He went in his bag to help a brother out.
Yeah.
There need to be more individuals like Menelek trying to help his clients, his friends, and also his family.
Definitely.
You know,
man.
like I said, he did not have to send me that.
No. Dude, people charge for that.
People charge thousands.
Yeah, man.
For business plan.
Definitely.
You know?
It took because I don't officially have a business plan. I never really made one, but I can say that I know how to do one because. And what it's really for, what I send Darryl, it's very detailed. It's like I have 40 pages or so, but it's something you submit when you're gonna go for a loan. Like you need to fill, and I'm gonna tell you, it's very overwhelming, and it can be troublesome.
Oh yeah.
But when you fill this out, when you go to get a loan for someone, like again, those guys or girls or women, I should say, who you're speaking to, you can tell them anything you want.
Yes.
They want a paper.
Yep.
Because once you leave, they're seeing 10 people a day. They can't remember you. They absolutely will not remember you.
That's right.
So when you hand them that paper and you're making their life easier. This is the executive summary. Okay, this is what the cost is. This is what the market analysis is. Okay, this is what we expect to do during our worst times. How are you going to pay me back when you're in the worst of times? Like right now, when the market's completely crashed, those people who accepted the loans for the businesses, and they're going back now through these portfolios, they're going through yours. Okay, how is Darryl gonna make sure that, oh yeah, this is what he said. Okay, close that. He's good.
Yeah.
We're gonna make our money. That's what this plan is for, right? So when you go there and you hand it in, they're gonna most likely accept any loan that you ask for.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. And also too, because I definitely want to get into your business chops, man. And for the world out there, you guys listening and watching, obviously before we start recording, we're chopping it up a bit. And for the world, this is the first time I've met you, so it's like, yeah, man, it's actually really cool. So of course, the whole time with you and Darrell talking, me and you talking before Darrell got here, I'm definitely just learning, I'm gathering, man. And you mentioned something before we started recording. You said, I never will do one thing. Basically saying, like, I will never only count on one stream of income.
Right.
Dive into that, man. What's your mentality behind that?
Okay, so this isn't about like anything to do with money or greed. This is about pure survival. If you had to think about, I read a book called Germs, Guns, and Steel by Jared Diamond. It's about the evolution of man from 7 million years ago when they think we came about till today. And the only way you can survive is if you had multiple different resources. So if you were the real word
Right now.
if you were foraging, okay, there's hunter-gatherers that would forage.
Yeah.
Hunter-gatherers would hunt, kill animals, and then gather like fruits and stuff, but they would always follow the animals. The reason why that became abolished because it became easier to accumulate all the resources at once. Farming.
Yes.
So when you, as a farmer, you got to think about what do farmers do. Well, you need to have your wheat, you have your meat, and you have your water. Pretty much is what they would eat. Now, at any point in time, if your cattle got sick and they all would die, what would you rely on? You had your wheat and you had your water. During the Great Depression in 1930, when the farmers had all their wheat and their grass like completely destroyed by like grasshoppers, what did they have? They had their cows, their meat, and then they had their water. So for me, you got to think about we're not farmers anymore, right? But our source of income isn't meat and wheat. It's about the different kinds of jobs we have. Those jobs are different industries. So you look at right now when the markets crash, which industries are doing well, right? You look at the cleaning industries where you have your Lysols, you have your Lysol wipes, the toilet paper industry, which is going up as well. But if you put all your money in tourism and travel, you're pretty much screwed right now.
Right now, you're
right screwed. Yeah. So now I sit back and I say, okay, that's just a stock market. Now what do you, when you put money in the stock market, it doesn't take time. You put your stocks there, you check it from so on and so forth. But what are you doing outside of that? Now you got to think about what takes up your actual physical time. Now, if you do your 9 to 5, that's good. But you also want to do another source of income. Remove stocks now. You work your 9 to 5. What other source of income that takes your time do you have to do? So what I truly believe in is having a part-time hours, but trying to generate full-time income. Right? And
I love that.
The way my business is set up is I have educators that work with me, where we have all these students come in. Based on my educators' profiles, we do assessment with the students, we match them up with the educator. The educator reads their profile, they're just like yes or no. If they say no, you go to the next viable educator that you think would work. Now the educator gives them power because now they can choose how many students they want to fill in their free time. So then when they fill in their free time, they can also now have another source of income, or they can make this tutoring their main source of income. So some of the educators, they work like 20 hours a week with us, and some of them only do 2 hours a week. So the reason why I said never put all your time into everything, if your like business generates more income than your full-time job, don't leave your full-time job to work on your business if you could still run it on part-time hours.
That's right.
Because now what if that business was touring and travel and it completely got wiped out? Well, now you have nothing. And I'm not saying it because not saying that because you're not going to believe in your business. You're going to believe in it 100%. But like no one could have seen this coming. A year ago, you wouldn't have seen this coming. So if your business is completely dependent on the volume of people coming in,
you gotta make sure that safety net.
You now you have nothing. But what if your job was like online? You're doing website designing. That's still going to keep going. So you need to have different and that's the reason why. It goes back to that hunter-gatherer state of mind, and that's how literally mankind made it till today, right? If those who literally depend on one thing, you got to remember that one thing will not be there forever.
Man, that's amazing. Man. Yeah, it's really dope because this is why I love me.